Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy and the MCU. So let me define my terms here. So, what is the MCU? The MCU, first of all, the MCU, as defined by two people, by two groups, for a long time, the nerdrotic group, right? Who's nerdrotic? Ward, male, conservative, highly prejudiced, right? Vindictive, right? Like that kind of person. Nerdrotic is if you don't know what this type of person is, nerdrotic is the template, right? And like there's a guy, he has a channel called The Quartering. He's like the same thing, and there's 100 of them. There's like 100 of them on YouTube, right? Just like this ward male, highly vindictive, highly prejudiced, like kind of like repugnant type of conservative, like the conservative, but with all the worst parts. Like, what you're like, yeah, like my grandfather's, yeah, my grandfather passed, but like some people have like what SNL makes fun of, like when you go, like when a liberal goes home and have to put up with their conservative grandfather, like just like that person, but young and still communicating, right? Like it's just So they talked about the MCU non-stop, and they've been like, go woke, get woke, go broke, Disney, And here's the thing: when they said this stuff, when they said the MCU, it didn't matter, right? And the reason why is they don't have standing, right? Like you're a prejudiced conservative, ward male. Like who cares? Like you think that females in Marvel is a bad thing? Who cares if you say that, right? Nobody cares because they already know you're going to say it because you said it a million times, right? Here, that's another thing is when you're repeating yourself, right? You lose traction, right? And I will say, like, I make content every day. It's hard not to repeat yourself, and I struggle to do it, right? Like, and I think in my videos, I know I say the same things on one particular subject, but each video subject is different, right? Like, Nerdrotic did literally like 100 videos that, Lord of the Rings on Amazon, Rings of Power would suck. Like, it was just the same video again and again and again, right? And so when he would say this, it had no standing because, like, it's just a prejudiced ward male conservative saying it, right? Who cares, right? Like, duh. Like, guy who drives Ford F-150 likes cheeseburger. Like no surprise, right? Here's where it gets surprising, okay? My favorite movie reviewer in the world, who is increasingly a political pundit, never had no intention to become a political pundit, has no desire to be a political pundit, but pop culture is culture, and culture is politics. And so she covers movies, which means she's constantly covering politics, which is my bread and butter now. Like not bread and butter because I don't make any money on this channel, but it is the main thing I'm telling you, right? Our American entertainment is politics. There's more political discussion, more political action coming out of Hollywood than Washington. Like Hollywood doesn't shut down every, like it actually literally did just shut down, but they shut down once every 20 years, right? Not twice a year. Like at this point, like government shutdowns they're not even a minor concern by American people. They don't care, right? They're like, we don't care. Like, because one, it's not real. You don't shut everything down. It's not a hard shutdown. It's a soft shutdown. And two, you fix it every time, right? So we don't really care. And that's precipitous, right? Like the fact that like government shutdown is no longer even marginally interesting and it shows where we are, right? We are in a mild apocalypse. Like that is the best way to describe the state of America today, a mild apocalypse, right? So let's get all the way there. So Grace Randolph comes out, right? Grace is a dyed-in-the-wool feminist, does not pretend to be. She says, I want, female producers, I want female directors, I want females to crush it at every single level of Hollywood, right? And she's an LGBTQ ally. She is liberal to the core, feminist to the core, and here this is her quote, exact quote. She said, "MCU is a term that we have been that has been being bandying around for quite a while. It is an incredibly offensive term, but we've reached a point where it is no longer a deniable term." So Grace Randolph, dyed-in-the-wool liberal, dyed-in-the-wool feminist, said the MCU is real. right? Why did she say it? Because the Marvels. The Marvels proved it, right? Like, Marvel has 1,000 heroes and 1,000 villains. They're like, let's pick the hero who is played by Brie Larson, who openly castigated the people who would go see the movies, right? Which are generally young men, generally who like comic books. And she's like, you guys all suck. And said it many times, like just right to their face, like, I'm in a blockbuster movie, but I'd really like to make sure that everybody who's like first in line generally see a Marvel movie knows that I really dislike you guys, right? She tanked the film, right? Then Miss Marvel, who stars the Iman Vellani, who actually I think is a really cool actress, and I'm hoping that she doesn't get burned in all this. I actually came out of Miss Marvels. I came out of the Marvels liking Iman Vellani. That was the one takeaway from me. Iman Vellani is fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of her career, right? I think she's a really talented actress, and I would like to see 20 movies with her in the next 10 years, right? Or shows. Actually, movies. Let's not delegate her to the small screen yet, right? That division is still very real, right? So very fascinating, right? And her Miss Marvel show was like literally one of the lowest ranked Marvel shows ever, right? Like, and so the point, and then, right? Monica Rambeau. Nobody literally know. Even in the movie, they're like, nobody knows this character's name. They made a long extended joke saying, hey, here's a blockbuster movie. We skipped 50 people that you wanted to see a movie with. We know you want an all hot Wolverine movie. We know you want the next X-Men movie. You guys can all kick rocks. Here, look at all these. Look at this, complete collection of characters that no one wants to watch. And they caught it, man. They caught it hard, right? $47 million opening, the lowest Marvel opening in history. Then with the largest Marvel drop, second week drop ever. Its numbers are, and most people think it will not even make 100 million domestic. It is the most abominable performance for any Marvel ever, right? So, what does this mean for Vivek Ramaswamy? Opportunity, right? So we've been talking about the Department of Hollywood, right? Vivek fully implements his idea and tears apart 25 different departments. But he immediately sets up the Department of Hollywood, a single department specifically designed to give Republicans complete control of narrative, entertainment, and valuable intellectual properties. I would say a controlling interest and a controlling power in America's most valuable intellectual properties. And my point is, Disney should not be allowed to squander the massive intellectual property, the American steel that we have today, right? Hollywood is today's American steel, right? And the government got highly involved in the business of American steel. Tariffs, quality control, all this. And so I think Vivek Ramaswamy should implement this Department of Hollywood, right? And this is the perfect place to do it, to say the MCU is fully acknowledged at this point. It's not just the incredibly prejudiced ward males complaining about Marvel. Nobody cares about this. This is a feminist, a dyed-in-the-wool feminist, liberal, like self-proclaimed feminist liberal saying the MCU is real, right? And so until the MCU is gone, because it has been proven to be massively dangerous to America's greatest valued intellectual property, right? So until it is gone, the government will have in every single conference meeting a representative of the government to make sure that actual good Marvel movies are made, right? That Disney will not be allowed to make a single show, a single movie without a government agent sitting at the table and then reporting back and saying, Vivek, they want to green light, an all-female X-Men movie. And then he would say, no, I want a Wolverine, Hulk, and Daredevil film next year. Thank you. Done. Right? And the great thing about this would be, it, it. I don't want President Trump, but man, did he have some things right. It would own the libs, like they've been hacking our society with Hollywood for a while. Now we would hack their power over our society with government regulation. The irony is beautiful, right? And I think at the end of the day, Republicans are against regulation. But if you're like, hey, guess what? You're never going to have to watch another movie with Brie Larson in it. They would do this. They would do this. And Vivek Ramaswamy would own the media for a week. And then he could just pick up my next idea, which will guarantee he owns the media for another week. Every single word of that is my humble opinion on how Vivek Ramaswamy should use the MCU to win the 2024 U.S. presidential election. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing and have a wonderful millennium.